Sebelumnya, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce myself. My name is Asher Putra Venetian and my number MPM 264111044. Good morning. My name is Asher Putra Venetian and today I will be presenting on the topic of microeconomics, especially about the role of incentive in economic decision making. Before we start, let me ask you something simple. Why do we buy more items when there's a discount? Why do companies work harder to cut costs when taxes are reduced? The answer to both questions lies in the one word: incentive. Throughout this presentation, I'll walk you through what incentives are, how they shape behavior, the different types that exist, what happens when they go wrong, and two real-world case studies that show incentive in action. And next, what is incentive in economic? Let's begin with the basic. What exactly is an incentive in economic? An incentive is a stimulus or motivation that influences a person's economic decision. In simple terms, it's anything that pushes us consciously or unconsciously toward a particular choice. Incentive can take many forms: reward, penalty, prize, or other benefit that encourage individuals to act in a certain way. For example, think about discount. When a store offers a 20% off sign, that little tax certainly makes people more interested in shopping and choosing certain product over other, even product they weren't planning to buy in the first place. So essentially, incentives are the invisible hand that nudges our everyday economic choice, from what we buy to how much we worth to how business set their price. And next, fundamental economic principles. This brings us to one of the most fundamental principles in all of economic. People respond to incentive. This isn't just a saying, it's a core law that economists rely on to predict behavior. People always respond to the incentive they receive, whether we realize it or not. Our decisions are constantly shaped by the incentive around us. We can actually visualize this as simple chain. Incentive behavioral change economic outcomes. When incentive change, human behavior changes to whether we're talking about consumer deciding what to buy, procedures deciding what to sell, or even citizens responding to government policy. This principle is the foundation for almost everything we'll discuss next. And then next, types of incentive. Now that we understand what an incentive is, let's break down the three main types of incentive that drive human behavior. And first, economic incentive. This include money, discount, reward, or material gain that directly drive economic decision. This is the most obvious type: salary raise, cashback, or sales promotion. Second, social incentive. This include recognition, social status, and price to motivate behavior in society. People often act a certain way not for money but because they want to be seen positively by others, for instance buying eco-friendly products to gain social approval. And third, moral incentive. This includes a sense of responsibility and ethics that ensures action based on moral value. For example, someone might donate to charity or reduce plastic use simply because it aligns with their personal value, not because they'll get paid for it. So incentives aren't purely about money. They can be financial, social, or ethical, and often all work together to shape a single decision. And next, how incentive influence behavior. Let's now look at how these incentives actually play out for the two major players in our economy: consumer and producer. Consumers choose product based on benefit and need, and they respond directly to price and promotion. If a product suddenly goes on sale, consumers are naturally drawn to it. That's the incentive working in real time. On the other side, producers set price, quality, and promotional strategy based on market incentive. If producers see that consumers respond well to discount, they'll design more promotion. If they see that quality matters more to their market, they'll invest in improving their product instead. In short, incentives create a two-way relationship. Consumers respond to what producer offer and producer adjust based on how consumer respond. This constant back and forth is what keeps the market moving. And next, the impact of misguided incentive. However, and this important, not all incentives produce the desired result. When incentives are designed without careful consideration, the effect can actually be harmful. Let me give you their example of this. First, excessive energy subsidy encourages waste and inefficient consumption. If energy is made artificially cheap, people have less reason to convert it, leading to overuse. Second, poorly targeted incentive can undermine long-term economic goals. A subsidy meant to help one group might end up benefiting the wrong people entirely or create disproportionately instead of growth. Third, consumer and producer behavior might deviate from what was originally expected. Sometimes an incentive designed for one purpose get exploited or misused in why policymakers never instead. So the key takeaway here is this incentive must be carefully designed to deliver real benefit, not create new problem. A well-intentioned incentive, if poorly planned, can backfire.
Pilihan merupakan hal mendasar bagi ilmu ekonomi. Proses yang dikenal sebagai pengambilan keputusan ekonomi ini melibatkan pengalokasian sumber daya yang langka untuk memenuhi keinginan yang tidak terbatas. Proses ini menyediakan kerangka kerja terstruktur untuk menganalisis pilihan dalam berbagai kondisi. Setiap keputusan, mulai dari pembelian harian hingga kebijakan nasional, mencerminkan kalkulus ekonomi yang mendasarinya. Kuliah ini akan mengeksplorasi prinsip-prinsip inti dan model yang digunakan para ekonom untuk menjelaskan pilihan-pilihan ini. Kita akan mengkaji pendekatan sistematis untuk mengevaluasi alternatif dan konsekuensinya. Inti dari pengambilan keputusan ekonomi terletak pada konsep kelangkaan. Sumber daya terbatas sementara keinginan manusia tidak terbatas, memaksa individu dan masyarakat untuk membuat pilihan. Kelangkaan yang melekat ini mengharuskan adanya pertukaran, yang berarti bahwa memilih satu pilihan berarti mengorbankan pilihan lainnya. Biaya sebenarnya dari setiap keputusan adalah biaya peluangnya. Ini mengacu pada nilai alternatif terbaik berikutnya yang tidak dipilih. Mengenali biaya peluang sangat penting untuk mengevaluasi implikasi penuh dari setiap tindakan ekonomi. Para ekonom sering menggunakan teori pilihan rasional untuk memodelkan pengambilan keputusan. Teori ini mengasumsikan bahwa individu adalah pelaku rasional yang membuat pilihan untuk memaksimalkan utilitas atau kepuasan mereka. Mereka menimbang biaya dan manfaat dari setiap pilihan secara sistematis. Agen rasional memiliki preferensi yang terdefinisi dengan baik dan bertindak secara konsisten untuk mencapai tujuan mereka. Keputusan mereka dibatasi oleh faktor-faktor seperti pendapatan, waktu, dan informasi yang tersedia. Kerangka kerja ini menyediakan dasar yang kuat untuk analisis. Alat utama dalam pengambilan keputusan ekonomi adalah analisis marginal. Ini melibatkan evaluasi manfaat dan biaya tambahan dari satu unit aktivitas lagi. Keputusan dibuat secara bertahap dengan fokus pada perubahan yang ditimbulkan oleh satu langkah lagi. Individu melanjutkan suatu aktivitas selama manfaat marginal melebihi biaya marginal. Keputusan optimal terjadi ketika manfaat marginal sama dengan biaya marginal. Prinsip ini berlaku untuk produksi, konsumsi, dan alokasi sumber daya. Keputusan dunia nyata jarang dibuat dengan informasi yang sempurna. Individu sering menghadapi ketidakpastian tentang hasil di masa depan dan memiliki pengetahuan yang tidak lengkap. Biaya untuk memperoleh informasi itu sendiri menjadi faktor dalam proses pengambilan keputusan. Para ekonom menganalisis bagaimana individu membuat pilihan di bawah risiko di mana probabilitas hasil diketahui. Mereka juga mempertimbangkan keputusan di bawah ketidakpastian di mana probabilitas tidak diketahui. Nilai yang diharapkan dan penghindaran risiko memainkan peran penting dalam skenario ini. Sementara teori pilihan rasional menawarkan kerangka kerja yang kuat, ekonomi perilaku mengakui adanya penyimpangan dari rasionalitas murni. Bias kognitif, heuristik, dan faktor emosional dapat memengaruhi pilihan. Wawasan ini memperkaya pemahaman kita tentang pengambilan keputusan manusia. Misalnya, individu mungkin menunjukkan bias saat ini, lebih menghargai kepuasan langsung daripada imbalan di masa mendatang. Memahami penyimpangan sistematis ini membantu menjelaskan perilaku yang tampaknya tidak rasional. Ini memberikan pandangan yang lebih bernuansa tentang agen ekonomi. Pendekatan ekonomi terhadap pengambilan keputusan memberikan lensa yang kuat untuk memahami pilihan. Pendekatan ini menekankan kelangkaan, biaya peluang, dan pemaksimalan utilitas rasional. Analisis marginal menawarkan metode praktis untuk mengoptimalkan keputusan. Meskipun mengakui kompleksitas yang disebabkan oleh informasi yang tidak sempurna dan bias perilaku, prinsip-prinsip inti tetap sangat berharga. Pendekatan terstruktur ini membantu individu, bisnis.
Next case study, promo and discount. To make this more concrete, let's look at the first case study, promo and discount, something we all experience regularly. Research and real-world data show at a 20% discount promo has been proven to significantly increase purchase of certain goods among consumers. This is a textbook example of an economic incentive in action. What's interesting is the psychological effect behind it. Consumers are motivated to buy more or even try new product they had not previously planned to purchase. This shows how a simple price incentive can completely shift a person's buying behavior from planned rational purchasing to more impulsive, opportunity-driven purchasing. This is exactly why retailers rely so heavily on sell even because they know incentive directly translate into change behavior. And case study 2, tax incentive and SME subsidy. Our second case study moves from individual consumer to a broader economic scale, tax incentive and subsidy for small and medium enterprise or SMEs. First, subsidy and tax breaks help SMEs grow, improving their competitiveness and long-term sustainability. When the financial burden on small business is reduced, they will have more room to invest, expand, and compete with larger companies. Second, this incentive ensure production and job creation, which in turn strengthens and balance in the local economy. As SMEs grow, they will more workers, produce more goods, and contribute more significantly to their communities. This case study shows us the incentive doesn't just affect individual shopping habits. They can also shape the trajectory of entire industry and local economy when designed and implemented properly. Next, conclusion and closing message. Let's bring everything together. First, the role of incentive in economic decision. Incentives are the key driver that shapes and directly every economic decision made by individual and groups, from a single consumer choosing what to buy and to a government-decided national policy. Second, we must design incentive carefully. Well targeted incentive with optimal outcome, but misguided incentive can cause negative consequences, as we saw in our discussion, or energy subsidy and poorly targeted program. And finally, I'd like to leave you with this closing message: understand incentive to make smart and responsible economic decision. Whether you are a consumer deciding what to buy, a business owner setting your pricing strategy, or a policymaker designing a new program, understanding how incentive work is essential to making choices that lead to genuinely positive outcomes. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'm happy to take any question you may have. And thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.